We're gonna start the Spanish recording as well.
Yeah, they're gonna start the Spanish recording.
Just so you're aware. I tell you this.
That's. Okay. 6:09.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the AB 617 South Sacramento Air Quality Steering Committee meeting. We want to thank everyone for coming out. We are going to start the meeting at 6:09. Meeting is coming toward 6:09. Once again, want to thank everybody for coming out here. And we are going to pass it over to our interpretation to give instructions on the interpretation services and logistics. Also, keep in mind that this meeting is being recorded. So once again, keep in mind our meeting is being recorded.
Would you be able to come give interpretation instructions? Yes, no worries. I'm bringing over the mic to you. So accessing an interpreter, you join virtual meeting, either Zoom's desktop version or mobile app. Click the interpretation icon, which is a globe on the desktop. Look at the bottom of window, Zoom window. On mobile, tap the screen to show controls, then tap more, which is the menu with the three dots. Choose your language channel and mute original audio. The tips are to make sure you're using the Zoom app, not a browser, and make sure you're using the latest version of Zoom. Para acceder a un intérprete, únase a una reunión virtual usando la app Zoom de escritorio o teléfono, computadora o móvil. Haga clic en el icono de interpretación, que es un planeta. En su computadora, revise la parte inferior de la ventana de Zoom. En el teléfono, toque la pantalla para ver los controles, luego toque el menú que dice más y tiene 3 puntitos. Elija su canal de idioma y silencie el audio original. Los consejos serían: asegúrese de utilizar la app Zoom, no un navegador, y asegúrese de utilizar la versión más reciente de Zoom. Si ustedes necesitan interpretación de español, yo estoy acá en persona en la mesa de la izquierda. Gracias. Gracias a usted. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Britta. I am one of our facilitators tonight. I think we have some new faces in the crowd, or new to me. So if I haven't met you, I'm Britta. Feel free to come say hi after. Let me know if you have any questions or things you'd like us to do differently here. And some orders of operations tonight. So we're going through our welcome and intros right now. We'll do a committee roll call. We'll have a call for community events. And I will review some in-person and virtual reminders before we go through those introductions. So for those of us who are here in person, we do have a lot of virtual attendees tonight. So we'll be doing our best to make sure that the folks online can hear us and can engage with us. For best engagement, we do recommend that you come in person. And so thank you to all of us who are here in person, who I can see your smiling faces. If you are in person and you have a question or a comment, if you're a member of the steering committee, if you could just raise your placard, that way I know you have a question or comment.
And if you're in the audience, if you're here as a member of the public, during each item, we do go through the steering committee first and then hear from the public. So if you do have a question and I'm not getting to you, just know that your time is coming. We're just following our standard order of operations. If you're online, feel free to raise your hand online. And we'll call on you after we hear from folks in person. So I do want to note that if you're putting things in the chat, we do monitor that, but we really recommend that you raise your hand and say anything you have to say verbally. That way it's not creating silos for people online where the steering committee's members in person can't see what you're putting in the chat. And so, yeah, just a recommendation to try and raise your hand if possible. We'll call on you when we can. And if you have issues hearing us, definitely let us know and we will do our best to address that. So going over our charter code of conduct, if you're a steering committee member, you have a physical charter packet. This is there. If you're here joining us, seeing this for the first time, this is just something that we all agree to by being in this space. So what I'm going to point out today is that we will avoid interrupting others who have the floor, and we will strive to reach consensus, but agree to disagree if need be. So we have a really tight agenda per usual. So we're going to do our best to not speak over each other. That's also an issue for interpretation. If you're speaking over someone, the interpreters can't interpret that. So that's not creating equal access for language. Okay, and on our agenda here today, this is what it looks like. We're going over our normal sort of flow with our administrative items, our updates. We do have some action items today, so we will be voting. We do have quorum, and we'll go over that in a second once we do that roll call. We will be doing a continuation of our SERP team report out from last time. So we'll hear some follow-up, and then we'll talk about residential and outreach. We'll close out with new business, upcoming meeting topics, and public comments. So if you're here from the public and you have a comment, we will be doing those right at the end. Okay, so with that, I will pass it to Roberto to do a steering committee roll call.
Thank you, Brita. Good afternoon or evening. Hi, everybody. This is Roberto Rizzo. I'm one of the colleagues here for the committee. I'm gonna go ahead and start with roll call. Please say present if you're here. Barry Boyd.
Here.
Arturo Arroyo.
Here.
Bishop Chris Baker. Here. M. Swan.
Here.
Thank you. Jamal Green.
Here.
James Allison. Lori. Morgan Brown.
Here.
Reina Esperanza Moreno. Richard Lincoln. Ward Winchell.
Richard's here. Sorry, it took me a minute to unmute.
Thank you, Richard. Roberto Rizzo here. Sarina Rodriguez. Stephanie Williams. Thank you, Stephanie. Tito.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Tito. Vincent Valdez.
Here.
Great, and I want to go ahead and thank the city, SAC Job Corps, City of Oak Grove, Valley Vision, Sacramento County Climate Emergency Mobilization Task Force, CAR, and of course, the SAC Metro District staff for being here today. And with that, I'll pass it back to you, Britta.
Thank you. So I want to note that we do have 11 voting members, so that is not including an alternate. So that means quorum will be 6. Okay, so are there any community events to share, anyone? If so, please raise your hand or your placard, and I will call on you in the order that I see hands. Morgan, I will pass to you. And actually, could we use that other mic? I just want to keep this one for myself.
Good afternoon, everybody. Morgan Brown, co-lead and executive director of Color the Walk. Just want to let everybody know on September the seventh, we will be having our Excelsior Market, our international festival at our Excelsior Market at Estate Farms, which is in the Vineyard area. We also will be hosting a book celebration at Rainbow Mini Park in partnership with Community Resource Project and WIC on September the 20th. And on October the 4th, we will be doing our salsa, chilies, and clean air celebration at Rainbow Mini Park as well. We'll be having hands-on salsa making, have the kids planting their own tomato, chili plants, and giving away plants to the community. Also, we just launched our tree giveaway. So if you know any community organizations that need fruit trees, I have fruit trees on deck.
Thanks, Morgan. Just to repeat those back in case you missed it, we have an international market at Excelsior Market on September 7th. We have a book celebration at Rainbow Mini Park on September 20th, and a salsa and chilies festival at Rainbow Mini Park on October 4th. Are there any other community events to share tonight?
Yes.
Yes, okay, Vincent, let's get you a mic. If you could come up to where David is, please.
Yes, the Climate Justice Festival is coming up on September 21st. It will be at Cesar Chavez Park on J Street downtown. And, it's an annual event where we talk about climate justice and, a lot of resources, a lot of people are gonna be there. And I think this year's topic is on solar, how the solar initiative was repassed and trying to get more solar for people on their homes. Also, I added my avatar up here to the wall in case you guys didn't notice.
Nice.
Can you tell us what that avatar is for the people who can't see online?
Oh, it's the warrior of the land.
There we go. And just to repeat back, what Vincent announced the Climate Justice Festival, which is an annual event on September 21st at Cesar Chavez Park. So that can wrap up our, community events. And, I will pass it to Morgan to approve the meeting summary from, July 28th.
Good afternoon again. So I do motion to approve the draft meeting summary from July 28th, 2025. Yes, sorry. For clarity, I am asking for a motion from one of our committee members, either in person or online, to approve the draft meeting minutes from July 28th. All right, we got an approval from Mr. Bishop Baker, second from Roberto Rizzo, and the motion passes. Oh, sorry. My apologies. We're really trying to get on with this.
And before a vote, are there any public comments on, the meeting minutes? Any discussion from steering committee? All right, you can move ahead and do a roll call vote.
Absolutely. Barry Boyd,
Aye.
Arturo Arroyo,
Very rated vote.
Bishop Chris Baker. Adam Swan,
Present, yes.
Jamala Green,
Aye.
James Allison, Lori Walker, Morgan Brown, yes. Raina Moreno, Richard Lincoln,
Yes.
Roberto Rizzo,
Yes.
Sabrina Rodriguez, Stephanie Williams,
Abstain.
Mr. Tito,
Yes, ma'am. That's a yes for me.
Vincent Valdez.
Okay.
Nine yeses, and the motion passes correctly this time.
Okay, thanks everyone for approving that meeting summary. I will now pass it to Sarah to present on some membership updates.
So for membership updates, we wanted to share that we have 8, incomplete applications for the steering committee that we are following up on to get the necessary information. So we'll continue doing that. And then as well, wanted to share that Richard Falcon is no longer with United Latinos, and has applied to serve on the steering committee as a resident. So that will be, an action item later on in the meeting.
Thanks for that update, Sarah. We can go ahead and move to the outreach subcommittee updates, so I will pass it back to Morgan.
Good evening again, Morgan Brown Coley. So at our most recent outreach subcommittee meeting, the topics that were discussed were the status of purchasing outreach materials and t-shirts. So the t-shirts have been purchased, the logos to the front left-hand pocket has been embroidered, and we are now trying to get an overall consensus from the group, not right now, but we can all do this via email for those who aren't here in person, whether or not we will spend the extra, I believe, $250 to $300 to add the logo to the arm sleeve for it to say saccleanair.com. I know that we're still waiting on Vincent to the purchase of okay, for our flyers, do you wanna?
Yes, so it's taken a while to get a draft of what our table banner and a wall sign or standing banner would look like, and so I have one for everybody to look at. It looks a lot like the Air District's one, but it has our information. And these pictures are from our website, and I have had problems with these pictures from the day we started it because they're not actual people from South Sacramento, or it's not a park from South Sacramento. So I asked Jennifer, maybe she could, or we could get a picture of Rainbow Park and with some kids there, and we could put those pictures on here and replace these. But the prices are on here. The table banner is $145. The standing banner is $245. And our tablecloth is $245. So I have these, I'll pass them around. Maybe we could somehow get pictures of them out to the people who are online. And to have any input, please feel free to email me and or Morgan to get its changes made to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent. I will actually virtually scan and send to everybody via email. Then also, we did have the outreach subcommittee. We had a few members go out to the National Night Out, which took place on August the 5th. And in addition, this took place at Deerfield Mesa Grande. We had attendance at North Laguna Creek Valley High, Franklin Boulevard Business District, as well as Jack Davis Park. And next, we have upcoming events where we are requesting volunteers. Again, we have the Excelsior Market, that is an International Day Festival. For context, it is a 10-acre farm, so it is not completely developed land. So that's just giving that information to individuals that would want to volunteer there. Wherever your tables would be set up would be on a concrete or flat foundation. But again, the overall farm is unfinished. Then we have the Latino Book Festival. And we believe that's at Sac City, but we will confirm. That is September the 13th from 10 to 3:30. And then again, we have the Color of the Block Clean Air Day and Salsa and Chilies Festival, which takes place on October 4th from 11 to 3. So if anyone is interested in volunteering, please feel free to reach out to any of your colleagues to let us know that you are interested in volunteering. And I'll
Morgan?
pass it, yeah.
Sorry, this is Richard. I'm usually there in person, so I didn't know where to find the hand to raise, but if I could just make a comment real quick.
Absolutely.
When Vince was talking about pictures for the banner, I can check with our marketing person, Rainbow Park, Jack Davis Park. We do events there all the time in the district. I can see if we have something that's worthwhile to share with the group, if you guys would like.
Vincent is clapping. I think he loves that idea.
Okay, I will have him look at stuff tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Richard. And now I will pass it to the district for updates.
Hey, Morgan, just one more thing, you need to talk about the AB 617 community
Hey,
event.
excuse me, Morgan,
Yes,
my hand is up and you sped past and didn't ask if anybody had questions while you were in the discussion of the shirts and supplies. My question is, are we going to vote this evening? Let's just get it done. Your email went out last week in regards to folks if they want the website address on the sleeve or not. And let me ask, and if I can finish asking my question as well. You stated it was going to be somewhere around $200 or $300 additional. So are you retracting your offer from Color the Block, paying for it and eating the cost? Could you clarify on that, please?
so Color the Block absolutely will cover the difference. If, again, as a majority whole, we say that we want to move forward with adding the logo. So no, Color the Block absolutely is not retracting that statement. However, I was specifically asked from district staff to not hold the vote here in person, hence why I sent it out via email. I also did ask some of the steering committee members who are here right now what their preferences, and I have all intentions later this evening to send out a follow-up email once again to see anybody who is in fact, yes, in favor of adding the logo, an additional logo to what has already been done.
Right on. This is just dragging out month after month. Vince, quick question in regards to the pictures that you have there in person. Has anything changed from the months of, excuse me, agreed upon pictures and phrasing that we had already voted on? So are you introducing some new items? Do I have that correct?
I brought it up that, is it on? Yes, when I brought it up before, the arts and graphics person said, this is what you guys want to put on a table banner and on a standing sign? So we recreated it. And it's taken me a while to get over there to help them do it, but it looks great. It looks really nice. I'll send you a copy of it right now. And then you can let me know what you think. But the agreed upon one said AB 617 South Sacramento Steering Committee had no information on who we are, what we're doing, and who we're working with in the community. And so this one kind of reflects a little more of that. And so it's actually everything that was taken right off of our website. And I think it's a lot more appropriate, and it's going to be a little more informative, a lot more informative. So yes, it's changed a little bit.
Just a point of
I appreciate
order.
that, Vince. Maybe I lost my thought on that. I thought we had all agreed that we were putting the mission statement on that, on the step by step or whatever it's called. But again, I thought we had gone through this, but right on for just bringing that back around. But again, I thought we had voted and stated what we all wanted on there. But appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Just a point of order, just a reminder, for people who are here in person to speak clear and loud into the microphone. So I am someone who talks with my hands. And so sometimes I kind of veer the mic away, but veer the mic away, people can't hear online. So just try and really be intentional about speaking into the mic, please. That way people online can hear. I want to thank everyone for these really great comments and rich discussion on the outreach stuff, and just because of time, I have to move us along.
But I think we need to cover the last bullet.
Okay, cover that last bullet, and then we gotta move along.
Yeah, that leads it to the action item. Sorry.
And for our last, excuse me, for the last event that is listed is for the AB 617 community event, which is taking place on October the 15th from 5:30 to 8. So this will include having the air quality data as well as certain strategies. But one of the things that will need to be discussed and voted on later on today is our outreach purchasing budget, reviewing that, and seeing where we stand as far as requesting, approving to use the monies for outreach funds for this event.
All right, thank you, Martin. However, David again with the Air District, I just want to give a quick update on the AB 617 funds. Last we have mentioned it, the AB 617 program fund was not included in the state budget. There is still a chance that, you know, the legislators will be finding it or providing some funds for this program. But we are still waiting and watching to see what happens, to see if they're gonna add it in the budget. So once we hear something, we will definitely let you all know the updates.
All right, thank you, David, for those updates. With that, we can move into our action items. We're only 5 minutes behind everyone. So for our first action item, I will pass it to Roberto to call for a vote on the new steering committee member application, Richard Falcone, and maybe you can give some background on that as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Brita. So now I would like to call on a vote for to accept the new member application. That's Richard Falcone, someone that we already know. He's along with United Latinos. He's applying to be a resident community or committee member. So can I have someone motion and a second? Okay, awesome. I have 2 seconds. Fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the roll call. Brita, is that? Oh, that's right. We need time for discussion first. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna open it up for the floor. Anybody that has comments, please go ahead and raise your hand. Here, both in the room and online. Barry, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
Thank you, Roberto. I'm sorry, but I didn't hear Richard's qualifications.
Yeah, we actually don't know them either. He's kidding too. You're kidding too, right, Barry?
Yeah, I'm kidding, man.
Man.
Okay, anybody else with comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, hearing none, as Brita says. Now I'm gonna go ahead to the public. Any comments from the public? On the motion, yes. I see none. Now we can go ahead and call for motion. Call for a vote.
You already have the poll.
We already had the motion. And a second. Okay, let's go for it. Please say yes, no, or abstain for this vote. Barry,
Aye.
Bishop. M. Swan,
Abstain.
Jamala,
Yes.
James. I don't think you're here. You're here. Lori. Morgan Brown,
Yes.
Reina. Richard Lincoln,
Yes.
Roberto Rizzo, yes. Sarina? Stephanie Williams,
Absolutely, yes.
okay. Tito,
Yes, 100%.
Vincent?
Yes.
All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the motion passes. Richard Falcon, welcome to the team. And back to Britta.
Thanks, Roberto, and yes, congratulations, welcome again, Richard. So we do have a second action item today to vote on, so I'm going to pass it back to Morgan to lead that call for a vote.
All right, so. Okay, so the motion is to approve the outreach subcommittee proposal to use the funds no more than 2,000 of the remaining 12,500 outreach funds to purchase food incentives to encourage participation in incentives. Incidentals. And this will be for the October 15th event. Once again, $1,000 will go towards food, 500 towards incentive, and incidentals will be 500. So do I have a motion to approve? Oh, sorry, can I get steering committee discussion first before we jump in the motion?
Motion, second.
I like the motion, I'm all for it, I will be happy to, make the motion, but I'm just curious, have we decided on where this event will be?
So I can answer that. At the last outreach subcommittee meeting, I think it was down to 2 locations, right? La Familia or at the Fruit Ridge Center, Community Center. So we are gonna do a site visit to see if that works for our event, and we'll report back to our subcommittee. So we haven't finalized it, but we are down to the 2 potential spots.
You know the address of the Fruit Ridge Community Center?
There was a question about the address of the Fruit Ridge Community Center. If we have the address? Are
It's
you
four,
looking for the
it's
address?
4,000 Fruit Ridge Road.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
4,000 Fruit Ridge Road. And then I see Roberto has a question or comment as well.
Thank you. This is Roberto. I have a question for the event. Are we gonna do it on our own? Or are we willing to bring partners to participate and join us and also have tables? I don't think, was this discussed? Also, this is another question. Was this discussed at the previous meeting? Or was it more during the outreach committee meeting? We talked about it.
Yeah, so it was discussed at the outreach subcommittee meeting. So the idea is to talk about air monitoring data and also start talking about the strategies that, you know, you guys have developed.
And for the second question on if we're gonna be having other organizations join us, or is it gonna be just an AB 617 event?
I believe Valley Vision, we're gonna be talking about Vision to see if they can help us with that event.
Excellent, thank you.
Any more steering committee discussion?
Motion to vote?
Okay, so we have a motion to vote from Vincent Valdez. Do I have a second?
Second from Lori Walker.
All right, and next, any public comments on this, this particular motion? Okay,
Seeing none.
no public comment, and now, just to ask one more time, any further discussion from steering committee? All right, 1 second, we have a question comment from Bishop Chris Baker.
I just got an email from Food for Less, ambassador for their stores. So they want a list. I asked them just a minute ago, they want a list as to what we would need, such as water, food, what is it that they can help with?
Thank you so much, Bishop Christopher. So that also will assist with our costs. So now, assuming we have no more comments online. Okay, now we can go ahead and vote. And once again, this vote is to approve the $2,000 remaining from the $12,500 outreach funds to purchase items for October 15th event, which potentially can take place at La Familia and or Fruit Ridge Community Center at 4,000 Fruit Ridge Road. Barry Boyd,
Aye.
Bishop Chris Baker. Yes. M. Swan,
Aye.
Jamala Green,
Yes.
James Allison, Lori Walker, Morgan Brown, Raina Moreno. Yes. Raina Moreno. Richard Lincoln,
Yes.
Roberto Riza,
Yes.
Sabrina Rodriguez, Stephanie Williams,
Aye.
Ms. Chitita,
Yes, ma'am.
Vincent Valdez.
Yes.
Okay, we have 11 yeses and
Unanimous, yes.
yes, a unanimous yes, so the motion passes.
Okay, thanks everyone for moving through that pretty quickly. We're only 5 minutes behind now, so we're moving along. So I'm gonna pass it to David to give, grounding on the SERB team report out.
All right. Hello again, everybody. It's fine. So, as you guys are aware, we have been working our strategies. At the last, steering committee meeting, we had a report out on the urban planning and mobile and commercial strategies. This month, we will be focusing on the residential and outreach strategies. And then in September, we'll be bringing back, the district will be bringing back the feasibility of those strategies. And having a discussion with this, committee. Okay, next slide, please. And just to remind everybody, these are ordered teams for each of the groups. Go ahead. There are 4 teams, so, and we have developed strategies, over 6 meetings, 6 subcommittee meetings, 6 outreach subcommittee meetings. We had held office hours, discussed both these strategies. All the strategies were available on the Google Drive, for the members to review. Next slide. And as a result, 28 strategies were developed. Like I mentioned, the urban planning and commercial strategies were reported out last month, and there were most of them, and they were finalized at the service subcommittee meeting. I have Paul who will be providing an update. Like I said, in this meeting, we'll be reporting out on the residential and outreach strategies. So with that, I will pass it to Paul to provide an update.
Thank you, David. Paul Philly, station change. So there was discussion and feedback on several of the different measures that we had, and all of you should have received, I believe, a packet with the changes. Did that happen? That did not happen. Okay, then I really need to focus in and talk about the changes. My apologies. With respect to the ZEB and infrastructure, there was discussion that there wanted to be more specificity in the type of metrics. So we talk about that there's a community preference that we have more fast chargers and not just chargers in general. And then we also talked about fuel type, which includes hydrogen. So really trying to make sure that there is all of the different suites of options for residents within the community. With respect to tree canopies, there was a discussion about how we can have a goal to help the community and staff come up with a reasonable way, given that it's a 5-year timeline and trees have a much longer time for maturity. So what we proposed was one, including the 1,000 tree program of the SAP, the Supplemental Environmental Project, as a goal of the SERP, so that we can at least get a number of trees into community. And then the other thing was we wanted to make sure that the trees that we put in are going to be enhancing the tree canopy. And given that I think we're at 70 square miles, we decided to focus on chosen project areas. So right now, local jurisdictions have ordinances that require specific canopy cover at 15 years. And so we cribbed that language where for a project area, we're looking for at least 50% tree canopy cover within 15 years so that we can still focus on the maintenance. We can make sure that the trees aren't crowding each other as they continue to go into year 20, 25, 30, and so forth, but we'd still have a reasonable tangible benefit. So that's what we're proposing as the goal. With respect to safe and resilient streets, this measure was originally about working with jurisdictions to change street standards. There was a desire to have a more actionable part of this program where we actually physically change the streets now, as opposed to waiting for them to be repaved or restriped and do it at that point. So we included a neighborhood street safety program where we could do small grants to have changes at identified intersections to make sure that there's safety projects being put in now as we're trying to do these larger, more programmatic comprehensive changes. Next slide, please. With respect to business education, there's a lot of acronym soup. So we made sure to spell out all of the acronyms so that so it's not just BERC, but I should have picked an acronym, I don't know. Business Environmental Resource Center, thank you. And we also wanted to be very clear about partner responsibilities, a plan where people don't think it's going to be terribly effective. And then that was the same for the nail and hair salon measure as well, where all of the acronyms were clarified so that anybody could get an understanding, at least where to start Googling if there are different questions. So I believe that was all of the updates to those two sectors. And if there's any questions, I'm available.
I'll say, actually, if there's any questions, we recommend that you make an appointment for office hours. That way we can keep today focused on residential and outreach, since we did take the last meeting to talk about this and the last SERP subcommittee meeting. And so just in order to give residential and outreach the proper time, we recommend that you go schedule office hours, and thank Paul for his time.
All right, thank you, Paul. So in order to help prep for this meeting, we also sent out the residential outreach strategies on August 12th to all the CSC members. We posted that information on our website. We also tried to contact each member to know if they have any questions ahead of time and to come ready to talk about the strategies. Next slide, please. So today is our report out. We'll be having Maureen Brown and Jennifer. I'm sorry. We'll be having Roberto Rizzo and Lori Walker report on residential, and Morgan Brown and Jennifer Holden report out on the outreach strategies. And then at the subcommittee meeting on September 8th, this is not the first Monday, because the first Monday is on a holiday, so it's on the second Monday. September 8th will be the September subcommittee, where that'll be the final chance to have any last discussions, edits, or additions to those strategies, to the residential or outreach strategies. Next slide, please. And with that, I'll pass it on to Morgan.
Thank you, David. This is Morgan. This is Robert speaking. Actually, Laura's gonna start. She's gonna do the first three items of the residential strategies. So I'm gonna go ahead and okay, that one over there. What was it?
We're doing the same format. So I can read them out and then we tally. So just for everyone, so we know what's going on, we are going to do, well, I mean, before we go over all of them and tally, we are going to just get like a little overview, from Roberto and Lori, some grounding, about what residential talked about and what those discussions were like. And then we're going to read, if you have your packet, steering committee members, the first page of residential sources, we're gonna read the title of the strategy and give you a little blurb of the description. We're gonna ask, are there any comments, questions, or discussion? I'm going to tally those. So we're gonna read from top to bottom, just tallying, and then whichever ones have discussion or questions, we'll divide the amount of time we have and spend our time going over those. That way we have enough time to prioritize those discussions. So before we read through all the strategies, I'll pass it back to Roberto and Lori and see if they want to give us an overview or say anything before we dive into those, and then we'll go ahead and dive in.
Thank you, Britta. Just a reminder, the same thing that we did last time. This is a long time coming. This is something that we're been working on for close to 5-6 months now. So if you have questions or comments, I mean, all of us should have the time to read over these strategies way ahead of time. But if you have any additional questions or comments, if they are in a way changing the way we're doing these strategies, let's discuss offline. But just be mindful that, you know, we've been talking about this and we're ready to get it done. Go ahead, Lori.
So do you want me just to read the first three and then Roberta reads the last three and then we ask questions? Or do you want me to ask questions as I go?
Great question. Read the first three with just a little blurb, not the whole thing. And after you read the first one, we'll say any questions. After you read the second one, we'll say any questions. And we're just tallying the amount of people who have the questions. We're not gonna get into the questions until after. So you're gonna do the first three.
Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Lori Walker and I'm a resident member. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over the strategies that we came up with for residential sources. So the first strategy, does everybody have the strategies in front of them? No. Anyway, just for the sake of time, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read them. Okay, so the first strategy is lawn and garden equipment. Some of the strategies that we came up with is to create an equipment checkout program to maximize the number of residents who can use the equipment. Engage with the community to share information on incentives and equipment checkout programs, including the benefits of using battery electric lawn and garden equipment. Is there any questions on that?
If you have any questions or comments, please raise your hand and we'll just tally that you have a question. And we'll circle back to you after we got all the tallies. So any questions or comments, further discussion, please raise your hand in person or online. And if not, we'll move on to the next one. All right, seeing none, Lori, go ahead.
Okay, so the next strategy was electrification of household appliances. Engage in educating homeowners or renters to share information on benefits of using carbon-free appliances and the available sources, developing a new incentive program to assist qualified residents. Are there any questions?
Okay, I see Barry has one. Barry, I'm noting down that you have a question or comment, and we'll circle back to you once we go through this with all of these strategies.
Okay, and the third strategy that we came up with is clean air products. Engage and educate the community to share information on indoor air quality, the impacts of cleaning products and safer alternatives. Sharing information for cleaning products that are certified as meeting the US EPA safer product standards, safer choices that the community can make on cleaning products. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing that there's no questions, Roberto, I'm gonna hand it over to you.
Thank you, Lori, appreciate you. Yes, thank you. Vincent is clapping. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna do the last three. The next one is portable air purifiers. So the goal is to distribute air purifiers near areas that have a high exposure to air pollutants. So multifamily housing near freeways and high traffic streets. So it's a two-part, right? So one is to be able to provide those air purifiers, but the second part is also education. So the goal is to show why this is important. So and really focusing on these multifamily homes and areas where we know that people are affected by poor air quality and maybe they're not aware. That's number 4. Any questions?
Okay, Vincent has one. Vincent, your question is noted.
Okay, number 5 is very similar to number 4, which is air filters in public spaces. So the idea is to establish a filter replacement program where people can come in and we can exchange their air filters. So this also includes education, but it's also for folks that are already aware that this is something that they have available to improve their air quality, and we can support them to continue with that practice. Any questions on number 5?
All right, seeing none, you can go ahead and move on to the next one.
Thank you. And number 6 is raise awareness of proper mask and air purifier use during poor air quality events. And the way we're thinking for this one is, we know, especially in our communities, I know I've been guilty of this, when we get the announcements that the air quality is poor, that we should be indoors, that we should be wearing a mask, we say why, right? Like because we don't see it, we think that it doesn't really affect us. So we would like to, even though we know that there are very resources for this information, we would like to partner with organizations that are already doing this, including the district or Valley Vision, to inform, especially people that potentially don't have access to that education on why they should be wearing masks and using their air purifiers. So this is more like door-to-door kind of effort. Yeah, any questions?
Okay, seeing no questions for this one, it seems that we have 2 strategies for discussion. It is 7:01, so we have about 20 minutes for these discussion items. So I think we'll do 10 minutes for each. And we will start off just in chronological order. We'll start off with electrification of household appliances. Barry, I will pass it to you to voice your question or concern, and I'm gonna be taking notes on our poster board paper up here. So even though many people cannot see this, that's more of a reason for me to say what we're doing. So questions and clarifications are gonna go in blue. Recommended amendments to incorporate into the next edition will go in purple. And then brown is for anything else that comes up that I need to note that doesn't fall into those categories. So Barry, to you.
Got it. Thank you. My questions are, what are the appliances to be replaced? And what is the estimate cost per these appliances? And what is the projected amount that is going to be needed to be funded for that project?
Thanks, Barry. I'm writing these down.
Well, I'll like to defer to our Finland to see if they can answer this question for Barry.
And there's 3 questions. Do you want me to repeat them just as we go one by one?
Okay, so I think I can see it from here. What appliances qualify, the estimated cost, and then, projected amount to be funded. All of those sort of speak to feasibility. I believe this measure was based, and people in the subcommittee let me know, was sort of building off of SMUD's electrification push that was happening, I believe, in the Meadowview community. And this was to either top off or help out with those pieces. The district does have agreements with SMUD. So as part of the Clean Cars for All program, we help work with SMUD to get electrical charging for new electric cars as people purchase them. So I think it was looking at expanding that partnership. What that looks like and what that costs, of course, is an open question the district is still exploring as part of feasibility. And then when we bring that at a later meeting, you guys can decide if the juice is worth the squeeze or the bang is worth your buck. Does that get to your question, Barry?
Sorry, my screen just went kind of crazy. Yes, it does. Please confirm, because I'm not 100%, but I was told over the weekend that the funding for the electrification conversions, there is no more money, that program has stopped from SMUD because, again, there is no more, they've spent all their money. So please confirm. Again, that was told to me over the weekend. I haven't had a chance to speak to someone at SMUD yet.
We can reach out to our partners. I don't see SMUD in the room to answer that, but thank you for letting us know.
Appreciate your answers.
Hey, Barry, this is also David. Also to add to that, we are also in conversation with SMUD to see how we can align with their program. So we're going to have a discussion with them as well.
Right on.
And then I'm not sure if the question got answered about what appliances qualify. Was that based on the feasibility or is that in the strategy?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking generally, seeing
Oh,
who
okay.
will answer. It looks
Well-
like folks are discussing and someone's about to answer. We have some hands raised. I think Lori might take a first go at it.
I don't think that we came up with any specific appliance at this point in time. We did talk about, I think, stoves and things like that, but no, we didn't come up with a specific appliance, Barry.
If I may add, the measure speaks to natural gas, propane or wood burning appliances with efficient carbon-free appliances. So I could see a fireplace change-out program be very focused, or a more general all home electrification program. So then that'll be based on the feasibility numbers we come up with. Y'all can decide how you want to spend that.
Thanks, Paul. Okay, I'm seeing Barry give a thumbs up. So now that Barry's questions have been answered, is there any further steering committee discussion or questions? We do have 5.5 minutes left on this strategy, although we don't have to use that time if we don't need it. Okay, I'm looking around, seeing if there's any questions. There you go. Yes, Morgan.
So this question is to the district, and this is just for context as we go through all of these different strategies, because I'm under the impression that, and I guess the question Barry had kind of struck a thought, but as far as even coming up with any type of fiscal funding estimates, is that something that should have been focused on right now anyways? That, I guess as we're talking about feasibility, I know feasibility is part of the process of what you guys are determining, but is that something that we should be looking at as far as like, and again, I'm just like throwing an example, well, I don't even just outreach, but let me say like clean air products. I guess thinking about how much product, so to speak, or how much these products cost, is that what we get to in October? More so?
Yeah, so in September is when we're gonna bring back the feasibility analysis, and part of that includes, if we can do the strategy and if, what are the resources to do that strategy. So that will include potentially funding for those strategies.
Okay, any other steering committee questions, discussion, recommended edits to this strategy? Vincent, yes. We're getting you a mic.
Okay, Vince here. So I did participate on a couple of programs, maybe 3, 4 years ago. And a lot of the products were high-end appliances that needed to be purchased. And the rebate offset those expenses. And so I just want to make sure that if we were to come up with appliances that were qualified to fit into our program, that they're affordable for the people who were asking to buy them. So the drawback on that program was some people said, I wasn't planning on buying the $1,200 stove to get a rebate of $500. And so there's something for us to think about when we look at these appliances, and what drove those factors was how many BTUs they used and how much energy conservation was created by, and I think the water heaters were another part of that program. And so that was when everybody was going to the improved water heater system, and I don't even know the name of it right now, because I just slipped my head, but those are some of the things we need to look at. We're not gonna ask somebody to buy a $1,500 product to get a $500 rebate or something like that. And so things to look at and think about.
Thanks, Vincent. I made a note for just not necessarily an amendment, but I think that's a note for the feasibility. And Paul can chime in on this. I'm not gonna speak for you, that the steering committee has a desire for the appliances to be affordable even without the rebate. So perhaps during the feasibility phase, the funding amounts that are considered for the different appliance ranges and those quotes to make sure to be looking at more affordable models. Is that what you're, does that speak to your concern? Okay, I heard a yes. Great. So that's not necessarily an amendment to the strategy, but it's just a consideration for the feasibility. Are there any other final questions or comments on this strategy before we move on? All
Yes,
right, we were giving-
just one real quick, Vince, I
Yeah,
believe
go ahead.
you're thinking heat pump.
The question was, were you making reference to the swapping out the energy efficient water heaters to heat pump or tankless water heater? Tankless water heater, Barry.
Thank you.
Okay, great. And on that note, we can go ahead and switch to, oh, you do have another one. I'm sorry, Tito, I missed your hand. Go ahead, Tito.
It's okay. I got small hands. No worry. I appreciate you guys. Real quick, big topic: gas stove versus electricity. Did we miss talking about that?
I believe that's part of the feasibility, and Paul is nodding. So that will come into play later.
All right. Well, I just want to chime in. Thank you. Put my hands down.
Okay. Great, thank you, Tito. Okay, so we're back on track. We can go ahead and switch to our portable air purifier strategy. So, Vincent, I believe you had a question, comment, or discussion about that.
I did. I just wanted to make sure that we were going to be taking into consideration people who have medical conditions and also the elderly. So, as far as, segments of our community who are in need of these devices that don't have them already. And this came to the indoor air monitor, or indoor air filters that we made, and I delivered some to the community. And it was during the fire season, and the lady said, yeah, I had my windows open, my smoke alarms were going off, and I gave her one of those indoor air filters, and she was so appreciative of it. But because she was elderly, and so she says, I'm not gonna get central heating and air, I just keep my fan on and my air conditioner and my windows and doors open at night. And so we need to be understanding of the community we're going out outreaching to. And maybe sometimes people are just not going to get a central heating and air conditioning. And so they have to have their windows open, and these air purifiers are very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you for that note, Vincent. Looking at the strategy, it says establish an air filter replacement or upgrade program for qualifying community-oriented locations. Oh, sorry, no, I'm looking at the wrong one. Talking about I just remember the discussion on this one, and I think maybe, Roberto or Lori can chime in terms of talking about rolling these out and prioritization. Whether that was something that was talked about, that was considered, or whether that's something you wanna add in now. I do recall when you were writing the strategy and I was taking notes for it, I do remember that being a point of discussion. So I wanna, refer back to the panel, the leads for this topic to see their thoughts, and I see Morgan has, her placard up as well.
Thank you. And before Morgan, shares her comment, we didn't specifically say or included a, health piece, or people, we did talk about more vulnerable people as far as people being more exposed. But if it's, I feel like we can add it, right? Like we can be mindful and include that.
So just a note that I am adding in purple, which is the recommended amendment to add in something about considering at-risk and vulnerable communities. And I think that further discussion of this can happen at the CERB subcommittee, just to really clarify that language and make sure it's something that everyone has buy-in on. Yeah, saying ahead nod.
Just one thing that, or just, I guess a word that I was gonna use that could probably sum up elderly, health compromised, individuals that are immunocompromised, pretty much sums up
Yeah,
babies, adults, or elderly.
Great.
People with bad health.
I will include immunocompromised. I also, when I was listening, I wrote at-risk and vulnerable communities. So I will add that as well. Any other questions, clarifications, discussion, recommendations for this strategy? I do see a hand from Sacramento County. I will pass to you shortly, just once I confirm there's no more steering committee discussion. Morgan, I'll call on you first, and then Nathan, I do see your hand and you'll be next.
I did have a question, just about one of the action items you guys have on here, just for clarification. It says, develop an incentive program for interested participants to apply. I guess, like, and the portable air purifiers. I guess my question was like, I guess what does that entail? Like incentivizing for what specifically?
Paul Philly, there's a couple different ways the program could be run. One is you set a general criteria and then people would say, hey, I meet the criteria, send me a filter. Another is to pick a geographic location and everybody within it is eligible, and then you outreach to that impacted community and let them know that they can get it. So that's two different ways to do it. An example of the latter would be Aggie Square construction project. Everybody in the Elmhurst neighborhood is getting impacted by the construction, and so UC Davis Health had to buy everybody their air filters, and so they hired a contractor to go and let everybody know that they can get it. But you can't go into their house, so you have to say, hey, you need to like say I want one, then give you one, put it in. Another one would be sort of like the Clean Cars for All program, where we don't want to give everybody in a neighborhood a car. You have to have a car, you have to meet certain income qualifications. So the program could be run in that fashion, where there's certain people that you want to hit or target, and then they would basically meet your eligibility, and then we would give them the filter, and that's considered an incentive program.
All right, any other further steering committee questions or discussion? All right, Nathan, if you still have that question or comment, you can come off mute.
Yeah, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome, thanks so much. And thanks for giving me the space and time for that. Totally misunderstood that this is mainly for steering committee. But I just want to get a clarifying question, and maybe this skirts the line with feasibility. I know that as far as I'm aware, air purifiers are only effective as their filters are cleaned. Is this intended to be a reusable filtration system, or is there some intended to be some sort of program that will regularly replace the filters as well if these air purifiers are distributed?
Right. Thank you for the question. So this is to educate people and potentially provide the actual air purifiers. The next strategy, number 5, is specifically on exchange for air filters.
I think I understand that
So-
now. Thank you. Okay, that makes more sense.
It's in support, yes.
Okay, any final questions, clarification, discussion on this strategy, or we do have 3 minutes if one final call for other strategies. If they are burning and you did not indicate your hand earlier, steering committee. All right, seeing none, we're doing great on time. I'm proud of myself and everyone here. This is an ongoing struggle for us and we're doing amazing. So I'm gonna thank everyone for getting us through the residential sources. Let's do a round of applause. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. Okay, and now we do have 30 minutes total, so that's for item presentation and discussion for outreach. So I will pass it to Morgan and Jennifer Holden, who are here to give everyone an overview of the outreach strategies. And we will go through that same process again.
Good evening, everybody. Morgan Brown. So just again, kind of for context and grounding, we've been doing this work for some months now. We've came up with these strategies, so again, we are not looking to develop new strategies, we're looking to make sure that we're all in alignment with understanding with the particular strategies we currently have, as well as the steps that may need to be emphasized or highlighted on steps to be taken. So I will pass it on to Lori to go through the different strategies in the description. Once again, we'll take the same approach. She will read out the strategy, describe what some of these actions look like and entail, and then we will tally any questions, comments, concerns, or feedback on it, and then go back to each one after going through the entire list. Then we do have 5 in total.
All right, on to you, Jennifer.
Is this working now? All right. I'm going to stand up for this part. My name is Jennifer Holden and I live in the 8617 boundaries in Mangan Park. I am the leader of the Mangan Park Neighborhood Association. And this is an important, 8617 is important to all of our communities. And so I'm glad to see people here I haven't seen before. Welcome, everybody. As I am representing the outreach committee, I want you to know that you are extremely welcome. And we are very glad to see you here today. And the outreach subcommittee has been working hard to develop a plan that we hope will meet the needs of this effort and help us connect better with the community. So we are looking forward to hearing back from you this evening and with questions and comments. There is also a template. If you have a well-developed comment that you really want us to consider, there is a template to fill out and get into us. I'm going to refer to those who know more about such things. We're going to consider them by, I believe, the September 8th meeting next. And so it's a very short turnaround on those, just to let you know. Otherwise, we will be taking tallies and questions and the lighter side of things. And then if you have bigger things, more things later on, know that there's a template to ask about and we will get you connected up and you can tell us more about your great idea that is very well developed. So there is also a handout. You have a handout, says outreach, overview of strategies on it. There was one that was for residential before. Now we're looking, it looks almost identical. This one says outreach at the top. And we're going to go through this together. So if some of it sounds familiar, if you're looking at it, some of it sounds familiar, then we're all in the right place. There are 5 strategies that we have been developing in our meetings. And, the summary is on the front. I am actually going to be in the body and going through the pages. So there are more details within on each one. So the first one is to participate in outreach events. Yes, that's right. We're going to be holding and attending events throughout the fall. And you've already heard about the October 15th outreach that we're putting together either at La Familia or at Fruit Ridge Community Center, depending. So mark your calendars for that one. That's a big one. But then when there are other events in the area, we're going to be setting up a booth and have a banner and flyers and encourage more people to participate. We ask for your help in that. Please come to the events and tell your friends, tell your neighbors, put it out there on social media, bring people in, let them know we want to hear from them and there's a place for them as well. So, some of the things that we are going to do at our outreach events are, well, first of all, we did create a calendar. We will distribute educational materials on air quality. We will collect community input and we will track our outreach activities. Then you can see that a little bit more detail is in there. We would like to attend at least 6 community events to pilot the outreach approach and establish a presence. In the next year, we'd like to attend up to 8 community events annually to maintain consistent engagement and expand outreach efforts. And in 2028 to 2030, we would like to attend at least 8 community events annually with the goal of becoming a regular and trusted resource for air quality education in the area. So, tallies on that.
Yeah, any questions or comments? Just as a reminder, we're just gonna tally those. We're not gonna address the questions or comments right now in this moment. Please raise your hand if so. Looking around, I'm not seeing any in person or online. Okay, Jennifer, I'll pass it back to you and just note that we're 6 minutes in, and we have 30 minutes total, and that involves discussion. So we might need to just go a little bit quicker, although I really appreciate all your details.
All right, understood. Thank you. So second strategy is outreach through traditional and social media strategies. We will be launching community air quality outreach to expand community awareness of air quality. We will be managing and maintaining an online presence to educate and engage the public. We will be distributing air quality information to selected neighborhoods, partners, and media, and work with partners to amplify distribution efforts and create a media kit in multiple languages for steering committee members. Questions for the tally on that?
I see Roberto has one. Any others? Please remember that if we have numerous tallies, that will bump this up to the top of the priority list. So if anyone has any other questions or comments. Yeah, community, you can engage in these tallies as well, just as a reminder. We do prioritize hearing from steering committee first, but you are absolutely welcome to comment on these. These strategies were created in partnership with community, as we can tell by having Jennifer up here with us. Not seeing any other tallies online. So thanks for that reminder. And we can, I noted that Roberto has one and we can keep on moving ahead.
All right, strategy number 3, improve awareness, accessibility, and transparency of complaint reporting system. And actions we'll take are actions to increase public awareness will be developing and distributing multilingual brochures and flyers. We will produce a short instructional video demonstrating how to file a complaint through the district's website or phone line. We will explore hosting public workshops to educate residents. We will explore promotion through social media platforms like Facebook, Nextdoor, and Ring, and we will include accessibility to disability groups. So, questions for the tally on this strategy?
Online, any questions, comments, please raise your hand. in person. If you don't have a name placard, if you're not a steering committee member, an actual hand raise works, not the metaphor. Okay, I do see M. M, I will note down that you have a question or comment for discussion. Thank you for letting us know. All right, we can go ahead and move on to the next one.
All right, our fourth strategy is to promote air quality education in schools. So we will develop or source educational materials that explain the health and environmental impacts of air pollution for targeted audiences from elementary, middle, and high schools. We will promote educational materials by leveraging relationships with the local school districts. Distribute educational materials to participating schools and encourage curriculum adoption, which may include data reports. We will host or participate in environmental educational workshops at schools, presentations, hands-on activities, engagement, and interactive learning styles. And we will also use art integration as a teaching model. Questions for the tally on that?
Questions, comments, discussion for Tally. I see Nathan has a hand up. Nathan, your hand is noted. Anyone else, please feel free to raise your hand. All right, back to you, Jennifer. Last one.
Last one, fifth strategy, to build relationships with stakeholders and community members. We will identify stakeholders, including neighborhood associations, faith-based organizations, and places of worship, and community groups that will be included in initial outreach. We will create an outreach toolkit to help with the outreach. We will meet with trusted community leaders to share air quality information and understand the most effective way to reach their community members. So, questions for the tally on our fifth strategy?
Please raise your hand if you have any questions or discussion wanted for this strategy. Okay, Barry, thank you. Your hand is noted.
You know what? Actually, it was for the prior category. Sorry.
It's for the promoting air quality education in schools.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, got it. Okay, so thank you for that. That actually puts that one to the top of our list. So I'm going to go back up to the front. I'm gonna write these down and then I'm gonna do some mental math, figure out how much time we have for these three strategies. Okay, so for our three strategies, it is 7:31. We have 20 minutes and we have three strategies. So let's do 6 minutes for each strategy and the 2 minutes will just get eaten up as we go. So our first strategy, I'm going to set my stopwatch. We have 6 minutes. And the first strategy will go to promote air quality education in schools, since that one had 2 votes. So we're actually going to start off with Barry, since he's steering committee, and then we'll pass to Nathan. Once again, this is for promote air quality education in school.
Sorry about that. Yeah, my question is, what is the TITRO? Forgive me for the mispronunciation. TITRO Nagual is the art integration as a teaching model.
That is Richard Falcone's organization.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's a theater.
Okay, and now that we have Richard on the steering committee as a resident, he can help see that through. So Nathan, you are, well, before I pass to Nathan, Barry, did you have a follow-up?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, great. Nathan, what was your question or element for discussion from this strategy, please?
Yeah, so I don't know if this was discussed during the group discussion, as I wasn't a participant in that. But Was there any consideration for community colleges for education in schools? If not, why or why not? And I'm totally open to any explanation you have on that. I just wanted to check.
So I can answer that question. I know that some of the wording in here does specifically state elementary, middle, and high school. But I think when we say education in schools, I absolutely believe that it runs just deeper than that. So I would absolutely say that community colleges, JC colleges would also definitely fall within these realms, because when you're looking at the younger students and younger youth, this is more for learning and beginning of implementation, but when you are looking at the young adults, these are the individuals that can actually help in implementing some of these larger movements that we're trying to make.
So I believe I'm hearing a friendly amendment to include community colleges in the list of schools. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for the comment, question, and now inclusion. Okay, any other steering committee or public discussion, questions, et cetera, on this strategy? Oh, yes, okay, I see that we are passing to Bishop. Bishop Chris?
Yes, I just did some work with the superintendent of Elk Grove Schools, and he just texted me and said, when we get ready to do this outreach, he did this before and he wanted all the information sent to him, and he's ready to partner with the schools that's in that jurisdiction.
Great, so a note for implementation, we can partner with Elk Grove Schools through the superintendent. Thank you, Bishop Chris. Okay, we do have 2.5 minutes left on this strategy. If anyone has any burning questions or discussion, and if not, we can go ahead and move to the next one. I do see Barry has his hand up. Yeah, Barry, go ahead.
Thank you. Chris has brought up a thought which I had forgotten about. What is her name? Ma Vang, not council member Mai Vang, but Ma Vang, who is the person over at the Job Corps, that she's come with a few, well, they're not kids, they're 18 and older, but anyway, have come to a couple of meetings, and I spoke to her over the weekend. And my question to her was, how can the CSC become an official sponsor to Job Corps? Something that we'll discuss later and have a vote on it, yada, yada. To that, part of the outreach might work as well, going to Job Corps and speaking to those individuals as well. Thank you.
I think that is an awesome addition, Barry. I absolutely would love to add that as an amendment, as well as we look at down at the bottom, I don't know if you're looking at the packet, but where we have like our implementing agencies, adding on not only the school districts, as far as not the school districts, the community colleges, but then also Job Corps. Thank you for that contribution. So we have someone from Job Corps here right now.
We want to make sure we get you a mic. That way people can hear you online as well.
So I arrange speakers to come speak at Job Corps. So that's something if you want to do like monthly, quarterly, yeah, we can make it possible.
Amazing. Thank you for those friendly amendments. I'm glad to hear that that can be implemented. I think that we are at time for this item. Yeah, we have 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Is that an old? Oh, okay, great. Okay, perfect. So we can go ahead and just now go top to bottom. So I'm going to reset my stopwatch. And we can go ahead and switch gears and talk about outreach through traditional and social media. And I have it noted that Roberto has a question on that or discussion.
Thank you, Brenda. This is Roberto speaking. The question I have is, first I have to say that I love the idea of having a more robust presence, in social media and traditional media. I also know that we all have day jobs and our skill set might not have that, my addition or comment is, could we hire our contractors to do this work for us? So, you know, rather than having to develop everything ourselves, rather, it's better if we just give them guidance and ask them what are the metrics that we are looking for, and maybe they just do it for us. If we have the funding.
So I was actually gonna leave this to new business, but the Air District had guided me to apply for the Sacramento State Fellowship internship, since the Air District can't do it. So the Color Block was awarded 4 interns, and one of the job descriptions that I created was specifically environmental fellowship focused and required them to have a social media background. So that way they can work directly. Their job will pretty much be come with me to these meetings, also work directly with whoever we find maybe is like a second assigned person to support. But they will be dedicated to everything environmental justice, clean air. That is their job, is clean air environmental fellow. I was gonna surprise you guys. Thanks, Roberta.
Okay, any more discussion, questions, clarifications on this strategy? Which is outreach through traditional social media? Okay, we can go ahead and donate those 4 minutes that we had on that one, and we can go ahead and move to improve awareness, accessibility, and transparency of complaint supporting system complaint reporting system. M, I had written down that you had a question, comment, or discussion, so on to you.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to speak. So this actually connects to the last one as well as this one, and it's just basically making sure that when we get through feasibility and stuff that we're thinking about, and also bouncing off the conversation of like maybe bringing in a consultant that has the expertise, but thinking about choosing the right medium for how we're communicating and marketing and advertising what it is that we're trying to get out to the public for what it is that we're trying to get out. So like, for instance, I don't know if I'm right about this, but I'm just going to like say this sort of like illustrate my thought process. It might be better to put something like a complaint reporting system phone number on a billboard rather than on social media. And I'm sure there's standards of practice and and methods about what the best outreach strategy is for what it is that we're trying to get. And I just want to make sure that like we're thinking about that before we go like, oh yeah, like let's just put it all on the internet, or let's put it all for in-person meetings, because if we're trying to target older groups, right, we're definitely going to want more traditional advertising. And if we're trying to target younger groups, we're definitely going to want more digital advertising, etc. So I just want to make sure that however we're thinking about getting this complaint reporting system out, we're thinking about who is likely going to be using it more, who do we want to be using it, and what methods are we bringing that out through.
Thanks for those points, Em. I want to ask Morgan and Jennifer if some of those different, if there's flexibility in the methodology in the strategy, or if maybe it's just a note for implementation and feasibility that we should look into numerous ways.
So one thing I will say is, you brought up a very good point, because it is a certain type of person that uses complaint systems, right? That's just, a reality of life. And again, making sure it's accessible. So to answer your question, Britta specifically, I absolutely think that this is something that should be incorporated in how we structure the methodology. Like, I wouldn't say it's a separate implementation. I would say that the entire action itself should reflect exactly what you're speaking to.
Okay, Thank you. So just to make sure I'm hearing this properly, since that's about like, I mean, number one, I think it's feasibility of the different methods, and the cost associated, but number two, I think it goes to implementation. So it sounds like maybe there could be an amendment, tell me if I'm wrong. There could be an amendment to note that, the method to reach audience needs to be intentional and in alignment with reaching that audience and the goals associated with it.
Absolutely an amendment.
Thank you. For those online, I'm writing right now. All right, to be transparent with what I'm writing, I'll read it back and y'all can let me know if you have any adjustments. Vincent, I also see your hand up after this. So what I have written down is an amendment to choose methodology based off audience impact and accessibility. Morgan, others, do you have any recommended additions or edits to that? Also, just noting that this can be discussed further in certain subcommittee, but we do have some time here, so. Okay, seeing none from Morgan. I'm seeing you're on mute. Okay, I will pass to Vincent.
Thank you, and I appreciate M's comment, and it's kind of right along the lines of what I've been talking about for the last few months. So I do know the phone number to the complaint line, and I don't think anybody else knows it, okay? And so it's not out there in the community, it's not on social media, it's not anywhere, but I did call and I have hung up on it a couple of times because it's just a message recording. And so sometimes we feel like we want to get a response soon, or we want to be able to see the response, and that's what the transparency in what we're talking about is. Maybe on social media, we can see the replies, we can see actions, we can see results. And so that's kind of what in the community we're looking for sometimes, not just, I want to leave a message somewhere. And so I complain about the intersection of Perugia and 99 all the time. And so those are some of the things that we were talking about, and I appreciate him highlighting that because that's the importance of what we're talking about doing. And not just transparency in a form or go to our website and find it. We want to be able to find, maybe there could be an app, maybe there could be some kind of social media link, and all my other friends are Instagram. I'm not too much Instagram, but you know, Facebook is good for me, but Instagram is good for a lot of people. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Vincent. So it sounds like you're in agreement with the amendment.
Yes.
And while there might be a call to do something on the other side, I think that falls more within the air district's purview in terms of what they do with the reports and claims. So there's a call from the steering committee for transparency in that, but then the ball is passed to the air district to say whether they can do that or not. Okay, any other questions, comments, or discussion? We've gone through our 3 strategies that we've noted for this category. So if there are other questions for the outreach strategies, we do have 3 minutes. Our time management is impeccable tonight because the sun's in Virgo. All right, we can go ahead and move on to the next item. And let's give another round of applause to our outreach team and to everyone for their friendly amendments and discussion. Okay, so on that note, I will pass to David for new business and upcoming meeting topics.
All right, thank you all. So as mentioned before, if you guys are like to have office hour, or you can make an appointment by email the clerk. AB Assistant Clerk at airqual.org or call the clerk, phone number. And then we can schedule time to meet with staff. So you have any questions regarding the, urban planning and, mobile source, follow-up or any questions from today from the residential outreach strategy, please let us know and we have scheduled a meeting, with you. Next slide, please. And then for upcoming steering committee meetings, so the only thing I want to point out is that the October meeting will be an in-person only meeting. In that meeting, we're planning to do, hands-on activities, and so it's the most effective if ever is there in person, so we could do that activity with everybody here, in person. And then for the November meeting, depending on how the October meeting goes, we may either have that be an in-person meeting as well. But we'll let everyone know once we get closer, to determine if that is an in-person meeting. But at this moment, plan on, October, we'll be an in-person meeting. And the location for the next couple of meetings is, here at the La Palmera Center. To go for it.
Thanks, David, for those announcements. We can move on to public comments. Any public comments? Oh yeah, sorry, before that, is there any steering committee new business? Let me just wheel it back a little bit. Yes, Morgan.
Hello, everybody. Morgan Brown, the lead. So Roberto ruined it, but yes, we did get an intern that will be able to dedicate directly to the steering committee, for whatever needs that we may have. I would like to request if there's anybody that wants to talk, prior to us having our next, subcommittee meeting, please reach out to me. Also, there is an orientation that's taking place on Thursday for anyone who wants to be completely familiarized about how this program will run, working with this intern. And then in turn, we can move from there and actually build a strategy on roles and responsibilities that we want them to help us with. So again, Thursday, 11 a.m. If anyone's interested, I can send the Zoom link. You can join with me, just to hear about what this would look like, and then anyone who wants to assist with kind of taking the lead in assisting with managing this intern as well, please let me know. And also, if anybody knows of any community organizations that need fruit trees, please let me know.
Thanks, Morgan. Vincent has his hand up.
Okay, thank you. I'm so glad we have some time to talk about community stuff and or outreach activities. So I'm really glad that we were able to select Richard Falcone back onto the committee as he's not, as a community member, but I do have a couple of, residents from the Job Corps who have been trying to become members for a few months now. And so when we look at the community, and so they've been participating in our meetings, they've created a couple search strategies. We met planting trees at the Job Corps. And so, and they were interested in everything we were talking about doing here. And they had knowledge about the air monitor, giveaways that we participated, or the air district participated in 2 years ago. But my point is, so there may be some kind of, I'm hoping someone from the air district here today will be able to reach out to them before they leave to help them get the application process problems worked out. And not everybody has a permanent address. Not everybody has someone to refer to. And so we just have to remember those things when we're looking at the community, and we have people who are participating and who want to be on the committee, but we're stuck on how to get them on there. And sometimes those things, not sometimes, those things bother me. And I wish we were able to work a little more faster on getting these applications processed through. And I talked to them and I asked them to reach out to you guys. So hopefully before we leave, we can get this worked out. Because these are important young members from our community. And so, I mean, I'm old, so there aren't very many younger people on this community. And I officially say I'm old, so thank you.
Thanks, Vincent. Yeah, I just want to acknowledge that and say yes. we do have people here tonight. We hope we can get some questions resolved, and Air District staff will be here afterwards cleaning up, so feel free to stop by. Thank you for coming, and we're happy you're here. Any other new business? Yes, I see M has a hand up. M, go ahead. Oh, and Bishop, were you first? All right, I'm sorry, M. Bishop was first. Bishop Chris, go ahead.
I know we covered this, but I just got all these emails at once. The superintendent is saying they work with SAC Public Health, but it's been a while, and he's read about what we're doing. He's interested in that, so between now and the October event, he would like the information and work with whoever's putting it together, and he's looking forward to doing it. Food for Less Than, they're looking forward to it, and if you would like to use one of their store banners at the event, because they have 2 stores in the areas that we cover. And as I sit on the board of directors for WellSpace, Jonathan says, well, let's talk Thursday about this, and they want to see if they can have a table at the event talking about different things that they can be partnering with this.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bishop. We appreciate your follow-up. Those are great things for outreach to look forward to. M, I will pass it to you, and just noting we do only have 1 more minute before we have our 5 minutes of public comment.
Okay, thank you for the closing out time. I think I just want to state officially for the record, bouncing off what Vincent was saying, that it is important to include people even if they are experiencing some level of like homelessness, whether it be they don't have a permanent residence or they're hopping from residence. And the reason why I want to state for the public record that that's really important is, as we know, it is becoming more and more difficult for people to maintain housing, and that reduces, if we're going to tie participation to housing, then that's going to reduce the applicant pool, just in general. And I think that's something that we just, as a body of people that have come here from democratic means to try to like express our civic will, I think it would be good for us to try to figure out ways to prioritize opening that space to people who, just because they don't have, a permanent residence, if they can in some way demonstrate that, they're dedicated to the community, they should be able to be on the steering committee.
Thanks, M. Yes, hearing a call for creative solutions to reduce barriers to membership, and an emphasis that we should have, less barriers, we should have diversity in our membership, and that all membership types are wanted. I heard a call to youth earlier, so just re-emphasizing that and stating heard and agreed. On that note, I think we could go ahead and move to public comment. So the order of operations is we'll see if there's any in person and then online. So members of the public, do you have any public comments? If so, please raise your hand. I'll come bring you a mic. Yeah, let's get you a mic. Maybe I'll just come over to you. You can say your name for the record, please.
Hello, yeah, my name is Viviana Garcia, and I'm with the Climate Emergency Mobilization Task Force with the Sacramento County. It's a task force made of community members. And so I just wanted to kind of say hello, because they're doing a great job. We're currently writing the Community Emergency Response Plan, which is in conjunction to the Climate Action Plan. And the air pollution section is blank as of now, so we're starting to write that section. So I thought I'd come here and try to collaborate in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, and thank you for your work. It's pretty awesome.
Thank you for being here. Thanks for that comment. I'm hearing some applause. Yes. Okay, any other further public comments before I walk back and have to walk over again and make you all wait? Yeah, Lisa? No. Okay, Nathan, I see your hand online. Go ahead and unmute and share your comment, please.
Yeah, last time you're gonna hear from me tonight. Thanks for again making space for me. I was a little slow on the draw earlier for the announcements for public events earlier in the meeting. I just want to make a note that especially because AQMD is involved, there will be a Sustainable Business Awards and Resource Expo on September 17th, put on by the Sacramento County Office of Economic Development. So they will be celebrating the types of businesses, or if you had a question of who's doing things right and how, in terms of the environment, this is a way to explore that. And there will also be a resource fair where we'll be able to talk to different innovators and different resources through whether they're public or private at this event as well. It'll be at the MacPal Event Center, a little bit out of the geographic purview of this committee, but just letting you know about that. It's at 2003 Howe Avenue in Sacramento.
Thanks, Nathan. Your audio was a little quiet, so I'm going to repeat back and have you fill in the blanks if you don't mind. I heard that there's a Sustainable Business Awards and Expo on September 17th. And it was unclear to me whether that's the same as, whether that's part of the resource fair at 2003 Howe Avenue, or if that was a separate event. Could you please clarify?
Those are the same. I don't know if you can still hear me. Sorry. Those are the same two. Those two details are part of the same event.
Perfect. And did you have a time for that event?
And I just want to make clear, I'm not part of the Office of Economic Development. I just want to put it out there. But
okay.
But yes, I do have a time for that. It's from 1 to 4 p.m.
1 to 4 p.m. Thank you.
Yes,
and we heard that you are sharing on behalf. You are not representing.
For sure.
So thank
yes.
you for that. Okay. Any other public comments? Seeing none, I will pass to the co-leads to adjourn the meeting at 8 o'clock.
All right. Should we do it together? You want to do it together? Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Okay, it is now 8 o'clock. And we are about to adjourn the meeting. That's good enough. Okay, fantastic. And then you ready? 1, 2, 3. What do we want?
Salsa.
Good night, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, everybody. Nice